Hi, welcome back to Therapy Designs. If you're new to this channel, my name is Kelly, and this channel is all about teaching you how to create print-on-demand designs that sell. And be sure to stay tuned till the end of the video because I have another 5 bonus niches for you. So in today's video, I'm going to talk a little bit about the woven blankets, custom blankets. I'm going to show you how I created this listing, talk about what you should include in your listing, including mock-ups. And so this is my listing here. I'm on Etsy. And this is for a personalized wedding photo blanket. And so I have seen a ton of, custom photo blankets. They're big, especially the woven blankets. It's good to be a little bit more specific. So you could just put custom photo blanket. Give me any photo of anything and I'll put it on a blanket. And that's great, and you can do that, but it's so broad that people wouldn't be searching for it. So it's better to be a little bit more specific. So you can do like wedding blanket or anniversary blanket or baby blanket, picture of a baby, or your dog, picture of your dog. So try to be specific in the listing, even though you can put obviously anything on there. I would try to narrow it down so that it's easier for people who are searching for something specific to find it. And so the wedding ones are very popular. So this would be an example of a personalized wedding blanket. Now this one, you would put whatever their wedding picture is. And I put here where they could put their anniversary date. But that's it. I didn't go ahead and put names. You can do ones with names if you want to. You can do ones with different vowels or words, however you want it. I wanted to make it pretty simple. Just give me a picture and a date and keep it simple. And so that's all they would do is they would send me the picture, send me the date. I put it in there and there you go. So this is my main mock-up. I'll show you the different mock-ups that I include. And so that is the main image that people would see. Okay, so scrolling down, I've got this one here. It just says custom gifts and it shows your photo and then what it would look like on the blanket. I've got a little bit of an about section, so it just gives a little blurb. Wrap yourself in warmth style with this beautiful woven blanket, 100% cotton, timeless design, perfect for any room. Again, just another nice looking thumbnail. Here is just a lifestyle one. It's got the blanket on the bed. Here is a size guide, and so it'll show you these are the different sizes and how they would look compared to a full-size bed. I guess this would be a queen size bed, and it gives different examples of what you could use it for. So like this could be a baby blanket or a travel blanket or a small throw or a pet blanket, whereas in a bigger one could be a kid's throw or a tapestry or a sofa blanket. And the big one, queen size blanket, sofa blanket, picnic blanket, guest blanket. I mean, again, it's just including different things that you can use it for. Choose the perfect size for your space, right? Another mock-up, this would be a folded mock-up. A why choose our blanket section, 100% cotton for ultimate comfort, colorful fringes and edges for a stylish touch, available in 3 sizes to suit any space, unique gift for all occasions. So again, just more mock-ups. You always want to have several mock-ups. I mean, you don't just want to have one mock-up picture. Like this is the blanket, this is my one mock-up. You want to have several, and especially now because Etsy allows you to put up to 20 now. It used to be 10. You want to have several different cards for them to shoot through, and you want it to look cohesive and you want it to look professional. Obviously, I've got my colors, my branding colors going through all of my mock-ups, which is sort of that teal and white. You can see the teal and white going through all of the mock-ups. I've got my review card in here. And then of course I've got my branding card at the end. And there it is. And it includes a call to action. So asking essentially for a review. If you loved your order, we would love to have your review. And so you want to include a lot of different things in your listings. And I'm going to show you all of that. For this, it says, personalized wedding photo, woven cotton blanket, custom date, throw, wedding anniversary gift, home decor, keepsake, right? Here are your sizes, right? So you pick the sizes there, and then you're adding personalization. So you would go add personalization, and I put enter the date you want displayed on the blanket, and then Etsy message me or email me at therapydesigns@mail.com with the photo you want shown on the blanket. I also put message me for other custom requests. Okay. Now, because this is a new listing, it hasn't been reviewed yet. So right now it says be the first to review this item. This is a little bit of a newer feature. So it doesn't necessarily help you unless your item has already been sold and reviewed, but you do still have your shop reviews. So it's still going to show if you're a star seller and your shop reviews. And then I add the review card here just so that they can see some of the reviews. And that kind of helps too. And then if you were to scroll down here, order today and get by, this is their estimate. I don't really like their estimating because that's not always accurate. Free shipping, ships from Florida, so it's made in the United States, material listed as cotton. Of course, you can learn more about this item and you'll get the description, product features, care instructions. I put in the little blurb that this product's made especially for you as soon as you place an order, which is why it takes us a bit longer to deliver it to you. Making products on demand instead of in bulk helps reduce overproduction, so thank you for making thoughtful purchasing decisions. Message me for custom designs or gifts, Kelly at Therapy Designs, right? This, by the way, this blurb here, I got off of Printful. So on Printful, they put this as an option that you can include this blurb. So I include it on all my listings, even if the product isn't from Printful. So for example, this blanket right here is from Printify, but I still use that blurb on everything. So when you have multiple print companies, you can kind of take, the best of all of them and put them together into one listing, right? So I take things I like from this print company and things I like from this print company and things I like from here, and I combine them all to make, the best of the best. Some of these mock-ups, by the way, I did get off of Guten, and I did want to make a comment about Guten. So up until now, all of my blankets have been from Guten, not Printify. But Guten, I guess, was recently acquired by another company, and as a result, all of the orders seem to be kind of stuck in limbo. And I had one blanket order that has been stuck in limbo for like 20 days. It just says in production, and I can barely get a hold of anybody. And I ended up having to just abandon that order. I put the order into Printify instead, and it's already shipped out to the customer. So I hope that they're happy with that. So I've gone ahead and switched all of my woven blankets now from Guten to Printify, because right now, well, Guten is trying to figure stuff out. You don't want to be anywhere near that because it's just giant delay, and I'm not getting any answers from them. I tried messaging them, and I just got that blanket response that says that they were acquired and that they still care about us and they're doing their best to deal with backlogged orders, but it wasn't very specific. So anyways, that's my rant about Guten. So now my blankets are from Printify, but Guten still had better mock-ups. So I still took my design, I went to Guten, I put it in there, and I made the mock-ups, and I used those mock-ups because they look nicer in this listing. But I'm going to have Printify be the one that actually fulfills the listing. So you can always, again, use multiple print companies, use the best features of all of them, and put it together to make a nice cohesive, listing. I'm going to show you and talk about some of these thumbnails here too, because I want to show you what to include in your listings. So I'm going to jump over really quick to Canva. Okay, so right now I'm on Canva. And this mock-up here, this is my main mock-up image. I did buy the mock-up on Etsy. So Etsy sells a lot of pre-made mock-ups for different products. So this was a pre-made mock-up that you could buy. I added this little section here, the little rectangle in the thing for personalization and, personalized with photo and date. And I added this little section here that actually had the photo. But beyond that, the big picture in the background, that I bought off of Etsy. And all you would have to do is drag and drop an image in the back. And I'll show you how I could do this. So I could go to Elements, and I could just put in a couple, photo of a couple. I can go to Photos, and I can pick any couple photo I want. Here's a couple photo. What you do is you put it over the blanket where you would want it. So line it up where you want it, and then you can hit Control in your left bracket and send it to the back, and it will put it inside the blanket. And so that's the way that the mock-up worked. And And so there's plenty of those kinds of mock-ups that you can find, and they'll try to give it a little bit of that blanket texture to it. So if I zoom in, usually it'll try to give a little texture. This one doesn't do as good of a job as some of the other ones. Yeah. But that is essentially how you'll see some of those mock-ups are done. And you can buy those. I'm going to go ahead and go back here because I don't want that. But there it is. When I come here, you can also buy, again, lots of mock-ups that have this kind of information on it. I made this one because I wanted everything to match my colors and my branding, but you can buy these kinds of cards pre-made, and then you just go ahead and put your blanket right there. And so you can definitely do that. Again, I made this one, same thing, just put the photo and then the blanket there. Key features. Again, you can buy these all in packages on Etsy if you want to. So you can buy a key features thing that's going to include all the key features for the woven blanket. And so it'll already have all of this in here. I did this here because I wanted, again, my colors, but you can buy all of that, care instructions. Again, you can make all of these. The size guide, I did buy the size guide. So this whole area here I bought and I put on top of my other card. Because I didn't already have these pictures, so I just bought this size guide, but that's always a good thing to include. And so those are the basic mock-ups. Now, if I go up here, I want to show you the photo. So for this, you're just using an example photo. Obviously, whenever you do custom work, they're going to send you the photo that they want on there, and you don't have any control of that. So it's going to be, you know, whatever photo they send, but you still have to have a mock-up, obviously, for your shop. So you can pick any mock-up. So I really just did this. I put wedding photo up here, and this was one of the first ones that I saw that I thought fit nicely. So I just sort of scrolled down wedding photos, and there it is. That's the one that I used. And I just sort of took it, cropped it, and used it as my mock-up. And so really the only thing I then added was this little area here, forever and always, and then I just put like the date here. And so to do this back part, I just hit R on my keyboard and made a rectangle and pulled a rectangle straight across. I just added a text box here and here and a text box here. And then this, I think I just maybe put sign or banner. I probably just put banner. And I went with graphics. And there's all sorts of banner graphics. Yeah, here it is. This is the one I used right here, and you can change the colors of it. And so I just stuck that there, and there's a lot more under magic recommendations that you can use. So all sorts of different banner things. I did this because if you try to put the text across somebody's photo, you don't know what color their photo is going to be, so you don't know what color text is going to pop or where it's going to sit. So for example, this is a dark photo, so if I was going to put text up here, I might want the text to be white. But if they send you a photo where they have a big sky up here and it's white, it won't work. So by doing a banner, it proves that I can always have the text here in a way that it's readable. Otherwise, just putting text straight on top of the picture may not work for the picture that they send you because you have no control over the picture that's being sent. And so whenever you do custom stuff like that, it's easier to just have a set place for your text, whatever text you want to do, separate from their photo, if that makes sense to you guys. Otherwise, it could be messy. You don't know what photo they're going to send. It might not work or look good. So I always recommend doing something like this where you've just got whatever your design is, and you can design this however you want. So be as creative as you want with that. You can always go on Etsy and just do a search for like custom wedding blankets and see what's selling, see what's popular. And that can give you a lot of good ideas of different styles and different ways that people go about doing this. And then you can create your own, right? So that's the easiest way to kind of figure it out. But all I did was I took this and I went right over to Printify. I'm on their catalog here, and I can go down to blankets, right? And they've got a whole bunch of different blankets. This is the woven blanket, which it says right now is trending. So the woven blanket's pretty popular right now, and it's definitely different than all of the other ones, which are more printed. The woven blanket is obviously a bunch of threads that are woven together to create this image. It's not going to be nearly as sharp, but that's okay because it's a woven blanket and people expect that. It's also not going to have the bright popping colors. So, but people are just generally going to be happy with it because they know that, you know, what to expect. But again, you can see all the information that you're going to get here. You can see the about section. right? We can see it's cotton. There's different photo variants versus artwork variants. You've got your care instructions here. You've got your size guides here. So again, you can get all the information you need for your mockups. You can download some of these blank ones, which I did use in some of my mockups. The designing is pretty easy. Now this has it as horizontal, which is fine because you can turn the blanket any which way you want. Right now, size variants, it doesn't have all of them, so I would go ahead and go size. I'm going to go with all of them. Finish. You get to decide whether you want the artwork or the photo. I'm going to do photo. Artwork would be more if you've got like big solid areas of color, like if you had like a big like solid like a graphic type of color, whereas in photos you get a lot more of that faded gradient, so you would really want that to be your photo. I'm going to go to my library. You can see the example I have here. So here is the photo that I had downloaded from Canva. I go ahead and turn it. Now here's something that you do have to realize, and again, you don't get to pick the photo they send or the size that they pick. Different sizes have different dimensions, so you have to make their photo work in all of the dimensions. So for example, here, that is 1, and that looks okay. But when I preview, we're going to see all of the different sizes and see if it actually looks good on every size or if it's getting cut off. So this is the 60 by 80 variant. Gotta make sure it's actually covering the whole blanket. Center it, and so it looks pretty good on the 60 by 80, and then I can check the 60 by 50, and we can see how that looks. I got a lot more space there. This one's kind of the widest, and then this one's really narrow. So if you do the 52 by 37, it's a lot more narrow, and your text gets really close to the edge. And so when you're designing and you have text going across the whole picture, you got to make sure that it's going to fit within these dimensions for the 52 by 37. Okay, even though when we go to the next size, we've got lots of more space at the end, right? So you don't know what blanket size they're going to pick, and you don't know what photo they're going to send, and you have to make it look good, obviously, no matter which size and what photo. So we have to make sure that our design, any text that we use, is going to fit perfectly within any of these dimensions. And so that's what you can see there when you do this. And we can go to preview and we can see how it's kind of going to look on the preview side. So here's an example of the mock-up that they give you, right? So you can see with these blankets, they're really big and they're meant to be seen from far away. If you look up close, they're not going to have good detail, but from a distance, you're going to be able to read it just fine. And so that would be an example of the mock-up. I can go to Save Product here. And so here it's going to show you all 3 of them. And if you want to download them, I can take any one of these and if I hover over it, there's a button here to download. And so I can download it and I can bring it over to Canva. Once I get it in Canva, I go ahead and rotate it so that it's upright, and I use it in, all of my, I can use it in all of my personal mock-ups. Otherwise, if you just use the mock-ups that they give you, it's just going to be these 3 mock-ups and the back, and they're going to be sideways, and that's it. They're boring. So you always want to try to make your own. If I was to jump really quickly over to Guten, just to show you guys. So I jumped over to Guten to show you their products catalog. And so here is their woven blanket here. All the woven blankets are going to be more or less the same. The sizes are exactly the same. And they also have the photo and graphic thing. So it's just another provider, but the blankets are pretty much the same. But the mock-ups are going to be different. And if you go ahead and do the same thing using their mock-ups, so let's go select all and let's go with photo. I can do the same thing and put my photo in here. Let's bulk upload. I've already got it here. And so there is their, whoops, center it right there. Perfect. Boom. And so there is their mockups. And so I do like their mockups, so I can always use theirs. And so if I was to go continue, give it a sec, it's going to process their mockups, and then I can download any of these mockups that I like and use them. So that's how I might use, multiple print companies to get mockups, and use like the best of what I like. So here are the Guten mockups. And so I like these a little bit better. These look nicer. I've got the ones, the lifestyle ones that are folded or the lifestyle one that's on the bed. I think the actual mock-up itself looks better. So for my listing, I used the mock-ups from Guten, but it's being fulfilled through Printful or Printify, and then I used a little bit of a blurb from Printful. I know I just get confused. A blurb from Printful about print on demand on my listing. That's a Printify listing using mockups from Guten. So it gets a little complicated there. Point is, you can use different things from different platforms to make your listing, unique and as good as possible. And so these are some of the graphics that I did use in this listing. And like I said, I used to use Guten for all of my woven blankets, but they have had a problem lately. I have an order that has literally been stuck in production. It's still stuck in production. It's been in production for almost a month now. And I don't know if anything is ever going to happen with it. So at this point, I can't tell you guys to use Guten because they are just in this transitionary period where I don't know what is going on. So real quick, I just jumped over to my email so that you could see what I got from Guten in case you guys are on there. And it just says, I'm reaching out with an important update about our company. We have been acquired, marking the beginning of an exciting new chapter. However, I want to address the transaction and with complete transparency. First and foremost, we want to sincerely apologize for the operational issues you've experienced during this transitional period. We know it's been rocky, and we take full responsibility for any disruption to your service. As one of our valued customers, you deserve better, and we are committed to making this right. They're talking about getting back on track. Restoring smooth operations is our number one priority. We're working around the clock, blah, 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 but they don't actually address the specific issue that I had sent about this one blanket that's been stuck in production for forever. So anyways, that's what's going on there. So I'll let you guys know if and when Guten gets back on their feet and running normally. But in the meantime, I've switched all of my blankets over to Printify. And then I did also want to show you guys, this is my blanket. I was going to go to the listing here. So here is the listing, and I was just going to go through the listing for you guys so you could see. So I've got my title up here. Obviously, this is where you would upload all of your individual photos, and you can go up to 20 now, which is great, but you can see how it's got a nice cohesive look. It keeps the colors throughout. I've got lifestyle mock-ups in there, ones that I've bought. And so just good looking mock-ups. Scroll down. We've got, our general description, product features, where it lets you know that it's 100% cotton, woven threads, that kind of stuff. It's got the care instructions here, and it's got the blurb that says this product's made especially for you. We have the personalization section. So it says, enter the date you want displayed on the blanket, Etsy message me or email me at therapydesigns@mail.com with the photo you want shown on your blanket. And so I put that there. Make personalization optional for the buyer. No, you don't want it to be optional. You want it to be mandatory. Down here, we've got obviously our prices. Our category is blankets and throws. Material, you'll want to put cotton. Recipient, you can pick, who the recipient is. Because this is a wedding blanket, I'm assuming the recipient would be an adult, but you can select from any of these. So if you had a baby blanket, a kid's blanket, any of that, but this is specifically adult. Can it be personalized? Well, yes, it is personalized, right? We've got our tags here. I put woven blanket, wedding gift, personalized throw, custom date decor, anniversary present, photo tapestry, keepsake home decor, custom photo throw, gift for wife, gift for husband, photo blanket, made in the US, couples blanket. And so those would be the tags that I used. Etsy has gone ahead and changed this section here where we've got a processing profile and a shipping option, and they're separate now. They used to be all together. And so now you have to put how much time you need to process the order, and then separately, what your shipping is going to be. And then Etsy uses this to estimate when the order would be delivered, and that's what it is showing customers, their estimate of when to expect it. And I have found that their estimate isn't always accurate. But anyways, be as accurate as you can with these. We can come down here right now, no returns or exchanges. Well, this is a custom and photo blanket, so no, I'm not going to allow returns or exchanges. But if you want to, you can change the policy to anything you like. If you've got sections, this is just in a random section for me, but you can put it in the shop section, whether or not you want it on Etsy ads, and then whether or not you want the renewal to be automatic or manual. And so that is essentially what the listing looks like. Now, if you have any questions about this, drop it in the comments section below. I try to get back to everybody as quickly as I can. I hope you guys are doing really well with your sales. I hope you're continuing to learn new skills and grow your portfolio. I hope you're continuing to try out new things and don't get discouraged because it can take a long time to really find your groove, to see what works. You might put up a new listing and it might need to sit there for a couple of months before Etsy kind of figures out the right people to show it to. So don't get bummed if it doesn't make sales right away. I wouldn't expect that. Anyways, because you were so patient and you did wait until the end of the video, I do have another 5 bonus niches for you. So without any more waiting, these are your 5 bonus niches. And I did go ahead and go with evergreens again, and this time it is going to be gardening. So niche number 1, my plants are rooting for me. Number 2, life is better in the garden. Number 3, recovering plantaholic, off the wagon. Number 4, never too old to play in the dirt. And number 5, a dirty hoe is a happy hoe. And so just the funnier the better with some of these. But I'm sure you can find all sorts of fun ways to create these and other designs. I hope you guys are doing really well with your Q4 sales, and I do hope to see you guys again. That's it for today's video. If you found that useful and would like to see more videos with helpful tips and tricks, be sure to hit like and subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you don't miss any of the weekly videos. As always, keep growing and stay creative, and we'll see you next time.